Hello everybody, my name is Jordan with Spiro X Marketing, and I'm here with another video about, the importance of content marketing. This is another overview from another perspective. There are a few points that I wanted to reach that I didn't get to talk about in my last video. So this one is really, again, another informative, educational video that I think can really get people thinking in a new perspective and getting them to understand the real importance of content marketing, and especially in a modern marketing age, 2021. It's time to put your best foot forward and, put considerable thought, effort, and the resources into creating an effective marketing strategy. So the first thing I want to talk about, obviously, with the resources being put into content marketing, the more you put into it, the more you're going to receive. Earn more revenue by posting more on social media, organic posts. Again, you know my number, anywhere from 20, which is the bare minimum, to 100 times per day. Every company, every personal brand should be doing this. By posting more on social media organically, you build an audience that learns to respect you, and you gain their trust because they see your level of expertise. They've seen you constantly, and they trust and believe in what your product or service is because they've seen an in-depth overview of what you do. And once you get into the trenches of it and you show them all the little details of how your product or service is beneficial, or you're able to entertain them, or you're able to provide, information of that, that solves a problem that they may have, you are going to earn their trust. So there are two things that affect sales, revenue, from a consumer perspective. So there are two things: interest and trust. Those two things are going to trigger a sale. So how do you build interest? Well, first off, it helps if the person, your potential customer, knows how awesome your product or service is. How do you prove that? By showcasing your product or service. That's just marketing 101. Now, where should you be showcasing that content? The best place to put that content is social media, because that is where everyone's attention is in 2021. Social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, podcast, Spotify, Clubhouse. What formats should you present that product or service in on those platforms? Well, there's four main types. We have video, we have pictures, we have written word, and we have audio. So that covers the interest side. You need these two to work in tandem: interest and trust. How do you earn trust? You have to earn it by truly giving as much value as you can upfront without even asking for anything in return. You have to provide them value. They have to understand where you're coming from, who you are, and they have to see the benefit of your value add to society, to the personal life, to whatever product or service what pain point you're trying to resolve. You have to be able to provide that value up front in video and the different type of formats. We got video, photos, we got written word, audio. Any way that your end consumer likes to absorb information, that's how you have to provide to them. Because the customer, the audience, they're always right. It's marketing. That's why we post on social media, because that's where people's attention is. That's where they like to receive information. And from there, they like to make decisions. So how do you give value to your audiences? There are three main categories that I talked about in my last few videos. There's three ways to give value. There's three value props. We have information, education, and entertainment. You have to either inform somebody about a problem and a solution. You have to educate them on how to solve that problem with a solution, your solution, whatever your product or service does. You have to educate them on how exactly it is fixing that problem. Or entertainment. We got different forms of entertainment. We got comedy, we got drama. That's why these big commercials and things like that work on like the Dollar Shave Club commercials. They're entertaining. They're not really, maybe a little bit of information, not much education, but a lot of entertainment. You have to have one of those three things, at least one of those three things in every sentence you say, in every video you put out, every photo you put out. So what examples of information can your business provide? Information, out of the three value props, the type of information your business can provide should be focused on empathizing with your potential customer. So you have to talk about that customer or that person's pain points and how your product or service actually solves that problem. Help them visualize like what it would be like if those particular pain points just went away. Go into the relief that they would feel if their issue was no longer there. So that's one form, information. Another type of value you can add is education. Product and service demonstrations. You have to go through your process of what you do as a service provider, as a manufacturer or a distributor of a product, and show that product or service in application actually solving that problem. Go through the entire process from beginning to end. The more in depth you go, the more your audience is going to learn to trust your level of expertise. So it's very important. Information is one, education is another. That expertise is a big factor because with just information, you can, attract attention to your industry or product or service as in general. But without the education, that information you just put out there, that product or service is just looked at as just another commodity. If you show your level of expertise and how your product or service works that much better, and the person behind who's doing the work is educating and has that level of expertise in that field, that's when you really earn trust from your audiences, and that can sway somebody to go from your product or service or to a competition's. So what examples of entertainment, it's another type, can your company provide? Podcasts, interviews, like reaction videos, those are the type of things and those are fairly simple to produce. You don't have to go the entire comedic route. You don't have to make an entire drama or a TV show. I mean, you could put out a weekly podcast of you just interviewing people in your industry or talking to people who have that same pain point and going through the information and education on a one-on-one interview level with, different people. So entertainment, that's another way to do it. Information, education, and entertainment. Now, putting out this content from a business perspective, a common question you may think to yourself, or, does quality matter? Well, to a certain extent, it does. However, obviously, a higher quality is better, obviously. However, a lack of professional quality is not a good enough reason to not create. Any content is better than no content, especially in a modern marketing world where you're trying to put out volume and value. If you can put out value, it doesn't matter how poor the production is. Value is value, and whoever will extract that value out of that production will do so. The higher the quality, the more they'll be able to extract out of it because it's more tolerable, the audio's cleaner, the visual's cleaner, of course. However, it's important to just put that content out there. Create and post content. You have to do it. It's very important in the modern marketing world. Now, how many times should you be posting content every day? I said it in the beginning, said it a 1,000 times, but you have to post at the very minimum, 25 times a day, 20 to 25 times a day, very minimum. Now, if you're really grinding and putting in work and you got a team with you, or you have an in-house team or an outside team that's helping you produce content 100 times a day, and you are way ahead of your competition, you're gonna be absorbing all that extra attention, and you're really gonna be rolling, and you're gonna see that revenue grow, because you're gonna have people, seeing what value you add scaled out for an extensive amount of time, because consistency matters in this game. In marketing, consistency matters, especially organic marketing. So they want to see consistency. And if you show that your product works and is efficient and is convenient and provides all the value props that you're promising it does, then they're going to want to gravitate to your product or service, because they see the value out of it. They see that you're trustworthy. They've earned that trust. Sorry, my phone is bugging out. All right, so they earn that trust. And so 25 to 100 times a day. Now, how is that possible to post 25 to 100 times a day? It's actually not that difficult for a company to be able to post that many times a day. What do you post? Well, it all comes down from what we call pillar content. It's a video it's like a 60-minute video, a 15 to 60-minute video that you post every week. That is either adding one of the value props we talked about from earlier: information, educational, or entertaining. It has to be one of those three, or a combination, or all of them. A 15 to 60-minute video of you just pounding the audience with information, education, or entertainment, and it has to be rich, really rich and full of content, and just know what you're talking about. Every sentence should be focused on providing value. Then, once you have that pillar content created, you posted that up onto YouTube or whatever, you have to post that pillar content, that 15 to 60-minute video, into smaller pieces of content. Now, from a 15 to 60-minute video, you can edit out anywhere from 30 to 100 smaller pieces of content by extracting everything you discussed in that 1 hour video and formatting them into shorter videos, pictures, written word, and audio segments. So there's a lot that you can do with that, because in 60 minutes, you can talk a lot. From there, take a quote from there, photo, another quote, photo. Take that quote you said and expand on that into an article. Make photos, make the videos into shorter segments. Make different formats: square, horizontal, and vertical. So try all that. Then once you have those 30 to 100 pieces of content, then comes the distribution. Those 30 to 100 pieces of content that you created in a week's time, because this video that you put out, the pillar content, was made in 1 week. So you have that week to produce and to edit out 30 to 100 smaller pieces of content. From them 30 to 100 pieces of content, and posting them across the 8 to 10 social media accounts that actually matter, like YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Reddit, your own website's blog. You have enough content there to post 25 to 100 times per day. Think about it. YouTube has what? YouTube has videos. They have shorts. They have stories. TikTok has posts. LinkedIn has posts, documents. They also have articles, and they have stories. Facebook has posts and stories. Instagram has posts and stories, and IGTV, and now they have Reels. Twitter has posts and stories, which they call fleets. Reddit has posts. Spotify has audio podcast, and your website has its own blog that you can post any format of content onto. So that many pieces of content across that many mediums and that many distribution channels is going to allow your brand to post anywhere from 25 to 100 times per day. And that's based on producing 30 to 100 plus pieces of content every week from that pillar content, that one pillar content you put out every week. So you can do a lot with a 60-minute video. So now what if you don't have the time to do that? There's another, pain point of small businesses. Now, if you don't have the time to make it, you either have to make the time, or you have to hire someone to do the work for you. You can't afford to not do it. So, what if you can't afford to hire somebody? Well, you can't afford to have a poor content strategy. Like, do you know how the way the marketing world is going, and the way businesses are understanding the importance of marketing, they're going to start allocating that budget for, producing the content, distributing that content, and building their audiences and putting out value first. Because once you have that trust, once you have that interest, you have a sale, which means more revenue for your business. Now, another question that you may have: how much should your company, your business, budget for content marketing? I believe that every single company should allocate at least 5% of their yearly revenue into content production and distribution. It's an investment into the longevity and the growth of your business. Business is like a marathon. Like, it's not a sprint. You can't expect like short-term. You have to think about your business in 10, 20-year windows. So if you're not making sure that you're allocating an appropriate budget towards growing and expanding your business and increasing that outreach and building community and just building a relationship with real people, because these are real people who are viewing your content. If you're not interested in building a relationship between your business and them, then you're just, again, there's no trust there. You're just another commodity. So you don't want your business to become like commoditized because your competition is properly investing their money into a good marketing strategy. So it's really important to make sure that you're building the infrastructure, or you're outsourcing the resources, the capital, to produce that content for you to distribute on all these platforms, to post that much content every day, to earn trust in the community. Or else somebody else in your industry is going to do it, and they're gonna outpace you in the marketing world, and you do not want that to happen. I know you do not want that to happen. And that 5% that you're budgeting towards that content marketing is like, that doubles as a potential content that you can run on, media buying. All the content that you make for your organic content marketing has to be the same quality of content that you would put out, as an ad that you put media spend behind. So, and as far as media buying is concerned, like, your company should be putting out at least like 10% of revenue into advertising dollars. So putting that 10% behind the 5% and distributing that on paid and organic, it's a total of 15% of your total revenue on a strong marketing and advertising strategy that puts your business way ahead of your competition. And honestly, it puts your company on track to becoming an actual brand, which is something that you have to really consider. Brand is the most important thing. That's where the trust is. It's in the brand. You don't want to be a commodity. So a commodity has no brand. They just pick the first service that they see. If you have a brand, they'll say, wait, I want to go to that brand that I trust, that I know, that I've seen. And through that, that right there is growth and potential for higher revenue. You have to understand the marketing landscape that we have in this modern world. Today's marketing landscape, like, you have to change the framework for how you visualize your company. Like, I know if you're like a business owner and you're in the trenches and you're like all your attention is focused on operations and building it from within a strong company that, that's sustainable. Like it seems to, like, from your perspective, it obviously, like, it would seem that the quality of the product or service, or the convenience of that service, should be what drives sales. I mean, it's a good reason for a sale. However, it doesn't drive the sale entirely. It's true to a certain extent, but not 100%. You have to understand from an audience's perspective, from an outside perspective. You have to visualize it from their perspective, from the outside world. Like, potential customers and clients may not even know how great of a service or product that you're even offering because they've never seen it. You have to be transparent. Transparency is going to be key. Your company needs to stop looking like a commodity and, honestly, more like an honest and actual brand. So your brand you have to earn that trust. And that is why, like, producing content more like as a media company is a better framework for putting content out there for your marketing and business goals in general. Because the more you are of a media company and producing content about your brand, your service, your industry, your value add to the end consumer, that's what builds trust. That's what that transparency is. They can see. That's true good marketing. And the more you show all that you can offer, the more people will respect and trust your brand. And, if they trust your brand, like I said, they're not going to go with your competitor. They're going to go with your brand because you have earned their trust. So, and like, if you have no content marketing strategy whatsoever, like, you're just leaving like an uncomfortable amount of room for like the land grab that is ahead of you for posting content out there and reaching out to people and building that trust and getting that attention. Like, you're almost like disrespecting how much opportunity is in front of you. And, that's opportunity for you to grow your business. And you have to look at marketing and content marketing and all of that as an investment into the longevity of your business, like I said earlier. So you have to focus on changing your audience's perspective on your business, because they don't want to see, just another commodity. They want to know that they can trust your brand. Brand matters. So the goal should be to build relationships through content marketing and through community management. And that is how you win in today's marketing landscape. I hope you learned something. I hope I added some value. I hope I, kind of changed the way you perceive your own business and really understand how important it is to just put content out there. It all starts from step one, which is produce content, make a video, add value to your end consumer. That's what matters. You have to do that. Inform them, talk to them about their pain points, and show them what it's like in a world stress-free where that pain point has been resolved. So the relief, the stress off their shoulders. That's information, education. Show how your product or service actually solves that problem in depth. Go through every step of your process that you do as a service provider, or how your product helps solve a pain point. Go through the entire process and showcase that. And then again, entertainment, podcast, interviews, reaction videos, that kind of thing. If you have a content strategy based on those three bases for your content, and create a good content pillar off of that, and post-produce and edit a ton of content underneath that from all the pieces of value that you've added throughout the entire pillar video, you can make a good, like I said, 30 to 100 pieces of content per week based off of a 60-minute video. And then from there, you can post that on those 8 to 10 platforms. And that, if you do that over the course of a week, that's enough content for anywhere from 25 to 75 plus pieces of 25 to 75 posts on social media per day. That is what every company should be doing. And I hope that your company starts doing that next and so it's considering your content marketing strategy. And remember, don't just be another company. Don't be a commodity. Have a brand with a logo that people recognize, respect, and want to gravitate towards. So again, my name is Jordan with Spiro Marketing. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, leave a comment. I want to hear what your content strategy is like, what you like to do, the kind of videos you put out, and let's just connect. So thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day.